Hello, I'm Mike Grasher, Chief Financial Officer of the Fortegra Group, a global specialty insurance company headquartered right here in Jacksonville, Florida. On behalf of Fortegra, we would like to welcome you to the 2022 High School 9-12 Fortegra Basketball Invitational presented by CSI Companies. At Fortegra, our mission is to deliver reliable risk management solutions. We're also committed to giving back to our local communities. That's why we're proud to sponsor the 5th annual Fortegra High School 9-12 Basketball Invitational at Florida State College of Jacksonville. If you'd like to learn more about our career opportunities here in Jacksonville, please visit Fortegra.com. Best of luck to all of the incredible student athletes playing here today.
We welcome you to the Florida State College at Jacksonville in the 5th annual Fortegra Invitational presented by the CSI Companies. Ready for our 3rd place game between the Oakleaf Knights and the Sandalwood Saints. Hello everybody, Sean Salisbury joined by the 2-time regional champ, Coach Toby Frazier. Toby, both these teams coming off really tough games last night. Oakleaf in overtime to Providence. Meanwhile, a Nice loss for Sandalwood. A lot to come back from in their 3rd game in 3 days.
You know, both games were emotional for both teams. A big letdown for Oakleaf. They had a chance to slay a giant last night. It didn't happen. I'm interested to see how they respond today against the Sandalwood team.
Well, for the Saints, starting with them, Sajari Love going to be the key for a stout defense that really hangs their hat on that end. That's going to be the way they win this game.
You know, Sajari, he's a senior, and you love senior leadership. It starts with him on defense. He's a great on-ball defender, and the success that Sandalwood has tonight will have a lot to do with his performance.
Meanwhile, for Oakleaf, is it really a question of who will propel them to victory? I mean, Dylan Lewis can do it all. He can score, he can pass, and he can rebound. Had the first triple-double in program history last week against Bridgeview.
You know, he's an old-school point guard, pass first, sees the floor very well, a high IQ guy, speaks multiple languages. You know, I'm interested to see the matchup between him and Sajari Love tonight. Is going to be a battle out on the perimeter.
We'll step aside for a couple of minutes, come back for tip-off in our 3rd place game of the Fortegra Invitational. It's Oakleaf and Sandalwood coming up next.
Future.
My inspiration.
My next chapter.
My American dream.
My passion and creativity.
For my first step.
Whether it is your first year in college or you are looking to start a new career, FSCJ is here for you.
You take some pretty big steps in life. And sometimes those steps can be expensive. Which is why your credit union is always here to help you save. With 0 checking fees and thousands of surcharge-free ATMs, the savings that happen every day really add up. Find out what over 100 million credit union members already know and visit your credit union today.
What makes us unique is just service. We control as many variables as we can. We do all of our own decorating. We do trophies, we do banners, and now we create our own uniforms in this building with this new sublimation process that we have. Just the last 21 years just have been incredible at how the business has evolved.
My name is Roland Bell. I've been with Bono since 1990, and I'm a pit boss. Started out as a dishwasher, and then I went from dishwasher to a prep. And after that, I wanted to learn how to cut. And here I am now, been cutting since 1990.
There's something special about cooking out in the backyard. Beautiful out here today. There's nothing like cooking home with your family, and sharing food with the people that I love. Barbecue is all about bringing people together.
Because everybody loves barbecue.
Our roof that was built 21 years ago, we'd had a few leaking issues and just wanted to be prepared before hurricane season. We have a company where we do electrical contracting. Knowing what it takes to go to a construction project, I was very impressed with the orchestration of this entire project with Covenant. They, I would say, under-promised and over-delivered, so I would highly recommend them.
FSCJ is here for my start and finish.
My support.
For my future.
FSCJ is here for my comeback.
Whether it is your first year in college or you are looking to start a new career, FSCJ is here for you.
About to tip off in our third place game between Oakleaf and Sandalwood. Toby, quickly give us some keys to the game today.
You know, Oakleaf had a tough loss last night against a good Providence team. It was a heartbreaker for them in overtime. Can they bounce back tonight? You know, can they bottle those emotions, focus on a new opponent, and move on?
And then meanwhile for Sandalwood, right, they hang their hat on the defensive end, have to be a little bit better after losing by 19 to Nice last night.
You know, and they have a tough challenge today with Dylan Lewis, who's one of the best point guards that we have in the area. It's going to be a battle on the perimeter. Should be a good test for these Sandalwood Saints.
Randy Pate III wins the tip against Cam Coachman for the Saints. They come out firing on the open possession. 3 short from Caden Torre, one of their leading scorers even as a sophomore. Second chance for the Saints. Here's Love dishing in the paint in a crowd. It won't go for Jalen Kennedy. And the Knights clear the boards with Devin Kirsch.
It's a nice pass by Sajari Love. Didn't come up with the basket, but I like the intensity driving the ball to the basket.
Kirsch on a turnaround, picks up right where he left off yesterday. Had 12 points in a big effort in that overtime loss against Providence. Was a heartbreaker for Oakleaf as a foul is called. No, beg your pardon. It was a travel on Sandalwood's Tavion Dunbar. Lionel Simmons in his second year coaching the Saints. Great point guard at Ribault in the 90s. But for this Oakleaf team, when we talk about it, they were ready to slay the Giant, the unanimous #1 team in the area. Had a possession to win it at the end of regulation, could not. Stallions just made a couple of extra plays in the 4-minute overtime period that propelled them to a 5-point win. Coach Jason Price very honest with us and saying, look, we've really never been in this kind of position before. We're interested and we're excited to see how we play today. There's Love right off the dribble out of the horn set to get the Saints on the board. How do you think Oakleaf manages that disappointment but still coming out wanting to win 2 games in 3 days?
You know, when you have a quick turnaround, you know, it's an old football term, you have to have a cornerback memory. You know, in football, cornerbacks get passes caught on them all the time, and you have to move on to the next play. Same situation with Oakleaf. They had a tough loss last night, but this is a new day, a total new, different opponent. You have to be able to put that stuff past you and move on.
Sean Jones, 5 assists yesterday. One of the veteran guards. Part of 7 seniors on this team for the Knights. He sinks both after a nice drive. Love will try to settle it down for the Saints. Entering today at 4-3 on the year. Beat Orange Park by 6 on Thursday. Lost 42-23 last night. We'll get a foul on the perimeter before the drive. Jones tagged with his first personal.
You know, the ball pressure by Oakleaf was superb last night. They did a good job of staying in the passing lanes, making it hard for Providence last night to get into their offense. Let's see if they continue that tactic on defense tonight.
We know Oakleaf wants to get out and run. They go about 10 deep and all 10 can defend 1 through 5. They force the turnover, give it back right away, and a loose ball foul called on the Knights.
You know, Sean, I've always been conflicted by that foul call when the player dives for a loose ball and you call a foul on him.
They'll step aside a couple of minutes into the first quarter. Oakleaf 4, Sandalwood 2. Loss of the season. We're 5-0. Hadn't really been tested all too much before that thriller with Providence. But that's what Coach Jason Price in year 13 wanted out of his club, saying, you know what, we're going to be in a position we haven't seen from this group yet. And then now it becomes, how do we respond? All these coaches are part of this great tournament say, hey, iron sharpens iron. We're going to find out what we're good at a month into the season. We're going to find out what we have to work on before district play really ramps up in January.
You know, if you're Coach Price, what you're telling your group is, we're one possession away from beating one of the best teams in the state of Florida. That's your measuring stick right there. Nothing to hang your head about. You know, we came up short, but you also get a chance to stick your chest out a little bit, knowing that, you know, how good you are being able to compete with a team like Providence last night.
Oakley started off that game with a 10-2 run, making their first 4 shots. There's Cam Coachman out of nowhere. Described by Coach Price as a game wrecker. Had a season-high 8 blocks in a game just weeks ago. But was the first one to touch the ball after stepping out of bounds. It'll stay here with Sandalwood.
You know, when you have that type of rim protection that Cameron Coachman provides, it allows your perimeter defenders to be that much more aggressive.
How about the aggressive defense on the inbound there? Oakley forces the 5-second call and gets the basketball right back.
It's a great block by Coachman. You know, blocking shots is a skill. A lot of people think it's just because you're tall. There's a lot of timing involved, the athleticism, you know, the coordination, and he's one of the best in the area.
Lewis on the handoff, silky smooth finish for one of the best guards in the city. Coming back as Oakleaf's returner in scoring, assists, and rebounding from a team that won 13 games a year ago.
You know, I had a chance to talk to a college coach this week about Dylan Lewis, and he loved the fact that Dylan is pass first. You know, he's looking for a point guard, and he said, Coach, the one thing that stood out about the kid is he's comfortable getting others involved, and that translates to the next level. And he has great size, you know, great height, right on the cusp of 6'4", 6'5", which is great size.
How about that passing ability? Finding Coachman after Cam got the assist on the previous possession.
Right on cue. That's a nice look. Good penetration, nice dump off to his buddy.
Smile from ear to ear by the senior captain, Dylan Lewis. Now Sajari Love off the dribble. It's poke loose. Lewis looking up ahead for Jones. Has to peel back. Finds the open man off the back of the iron. Long rebound for Kirsch. Oakleaf settles it down. This is Michael Compierre. His older brother was the leading scorer for the Knights last year. Coachman left alone, can't make the defense pay, but there's Kirsch. A nice putback for him, 12 points yesterday. A couple of nice efforts around the rim yet again in the first quarter today.
You know, Sean, and if you're Sandalwood, you can't afford to give this Oakleaf team multiple possessions on the offensive glass. You've got to find a way to box out and limit them to one shot. If they're going to continue to get 2 shots each possession, it's going to be tough to beat them.
Coach Price asked when saying, hey, you really took it to Providence on the offensive glass. He said, you know, if you prepare well, you practice well, you play well.
That is very true.
They get after it on the floor. Jones lobs it up. Coachman left a little early. It'll be out of bounds, but stay with Oakleaf as we head to a timeout on the floor. The Midwest man, Jason Price, loves his team's effort early. They're up 10-2 midway through the first.
We're CSI companies. We partner with organizations nationwide to help employers like you find your dream team. You're looking to hire the best of the best, and we've got you covered, start to finish. Whether you're hiring for projects or everyday operations, we provide the talent, strategic solutions, and innovative technologies that keep your business ahead of the competition. This is your workforce, reimagined. This is CSI Companies.
At Duval Motor Company, we've been serving the Jacksonville area for over 100 years. That's over a century of putting service first with the Duval difference. Whether you're buying a new vehicle or servicing the one you have, the Duval difference means you can buy from home or in person and get our best price up front with a money-back guarantee. You can service your vehicle at the dealership or at home with our mobile service truck, and we'll care for it like it was our own. Experience the Duval difference at one of our 5 local dealerships today.
We build ideas for clients. They typically have an idea or a concept of what kind of project they're going to build. And I think as long as we're involved at the very beginning and we bring realistic budgets and realistic processes that they enjoy, that we can actually build it versus just talking about it. And you know, we do it as a team.
There's 100% transparency. There's a common goal that we're all working towards.
At The Y, we take great pride in strengthening our community and helping all of us be our best selves. Our programs empower young people, improve health and well-being, and inspire action in our communities, today and every day. No matter where you are on your journey, we are here for you. We are here for all. Stop by or visit us at fcymca.org to discover new ways to connect with your potential, your purpose, and each other. Join us. Together, we are stronger.
Oakleaf on top early, Toby, and it's really the teamwork that makes this team go.
You know, you see here Dylan Lewis driving with the intention to make a play for his teammate. A lot of young players, they drive with the intent to score. Here, Lewis, he's driving with the intent to draw the defense to open up something for his teammate, and that's what you want out of your lead guard. He has great characteristics of a good point guard. He's tall, he has a high IQ, and he's leading his Oakleaf team so far today.
Helps when you have the 6'7" Coachman who steps out and shows his range.
It's a nice shot by Coachman there, Cameron Coachman. He's a little bit of a do-it-all guy, defending the rim, scoring on the perimeter, scoring at the basket.
Had 11 points yesterday, also had 3 blocks in the first quarter. What can the game record do here? Sandalwood trying to drop it off. Pate the third wasn't ready. 3 black shirts on the floor, but it's the Saints who keep possession. Good drive. Sweet touch off glass for Jalen Kennedy.
Nice move by Kennedy. Tough kid. I had the pleasure of coaching his brother, Jadarius Kennedy, so I'm familiar with the Kennedy family. Both parents are school teachers. Great kid. Good to see him playing well today.
Good way to describe the Saints as Lewis comes up empty on a 3-point try. They're tough. They really get after it defensively, but coughing it up on the offensive end early as well. Oakleaf out in space. Jones knocks down on his pull-up.
You know, this Oakleaf team, they do a great job of turning their defense into offense fast. They can turn you over. They're long on the perimeter and at the basket.
Pass to the rim. It's blocked. That shot altered by Pate III, and they'll say it was deflected off a Sandalwood player. Isn't that funny how Cam Coachman can just bait players and attacking the rim and just using that 6'7" frame to get a touch?
And you know, one thing that's hard for young players, Sean, in high school, you're subject to the personnel that's on your team. So when you're in practice, you don't have a Cameron Coachman on your team. So you don't get a chance to play against that type of shot blocking every day. So it's a big adjustment when you get in the game and you have a guy like that at the basket waiting for you.
Lewis can't hit his runner on the baseline. Coach Jason Price saying his team just has infectious joy. We really want to push the pace. Made the state playoffs 5 times, never won a game. This group feels like they can change it. Sean Jones racing from end to end, extends the lead to 12. They are locked in through these first 6 minutes.
You know, their perimeter defense, you know, it's been a while since I've seen a team here in Jacksonville that play the passing lanes as consistently as they do. And it's trust, you know, it's belief. And a big part of it is when we make a mistake, you have Cameron Coachman at the basket to clean up all our mistakes.
Sandalwood throws it away, looking for the cut inside. And now a couple of subs will check in for Oakleaf. Be Aaron Rivers, their 6th man, along with Travis Knox, who nearly had a double-double. For Joseph Simmons, some work to do early in this first quarter.
You know, and I like the defensive change by Coach Simmons here. He's elected to go, you know, it looks like we have a 1-2-2 look, which changes the pace of the game. You know, your man-to-man wasn't working. See if you give a different look, see if you can change the pace. Bait Oakleaf into taking some ill-advised jump shots.
Jones, a long pass to Rivers, a great 3-point shooter. Short there, nice rebound by Pate III. Chance for Sandalwood to get out in space. Nice job waiting by Joseph Simmons II. A little bit too long at the bottom of the backboard on his layup. Now the double team comes. Rivers gives it up to Jones. On the drive, drops it off. Knox can't hit it. Coachman flies in, but there's Love. Whips it ahead, Simmons II, still can't finish. Had a tough angle. Now 3-on-2, Jones, no, another try. How many offensive rebounds has Oakleaf had in this first quarter? Nice job by Sandalwood to rip it away. And still too strong off glass for Kennedy. Final seconds, first quarter. Jones loses the leather, and that ends a frantic final minute of the first quarter. Still a lot to go here in our 3rd place game in this 5th annual Fortegra Invitational, which is brought to you by Fortegra. Let's reach new heights together. The CSI Companies, workforce solutions reinvented. Bono's Pit Barbecue, Land South Construction, and by Duval Motor Company, proudly serving Northeast Florida since 1916. Second quarter coming your way next. Oakleaf on top, 16-4. second stanza in our 5th annual Fortegra Invitational presented by the CSI companies at our great venue at the Florida State College at Jacksonville. Everybody's dancing, everybody's in a good mood. 3 full days of basketball. Couldn't ask for much more as we get ready to close things out in our 3rd place game. In front of us, our championship coming up at 7 o'clock. You do not want to miss it, between Nice, declared last year's champion, and then the 2-time champs, the Providence Stallions, and the unanimous #1 team along the First Coast. For Oakleaf, seems like he couldn't have drawn up a better start coming off a very emotional loss last night.
You know, it's a pleasant sight to see, and this is a growth opportunity for this Oakleaf team. I know Coach Price is proud the way his team has rebounded after that tough loss last night. They're locked in, and that's what you want to see. You know, can we continue to be who we are throughout the duration of the season, no matter what the wins and losses may be on a night-in, night-out basis?
Meanwhile, for Sandalwood, 4 points in the opening period. Scored just 23 in a loss against Nice last night. They'll stick with the zone that they started to throw at the Knights late in that first quarter. Coachman in the corner, whips it cross court to Rivers. This 3 is good. Aaron Rivers, the 6th man who relishes his role. Coach Price said, I tried to make him a starter at one point earlier. He said, no, Coach, I like my role. I'm comfortable in that.
You know, you need guys off the bench. You need guys off the bench.
Kennedy scores there. What would a coach like about having a guy that says, yeah, I'll still give you 20 minutes a game, but here I am. I can watch the game for those first 5-6 minutes, and I know how to make an impact. That seems very different among most players in any area.
It makes your job easier as a coach when you have those type of players. And what you want players to focus on, playing time. You know, I used to tell kids, if your parents get to the game 10 minutes late, they don't know who started. So it's about playing time, not necessarily starting.
Kennedy again, back-to-back buckets to start the second quarter. One of their senior leaders for a young Sandalwood team coming off a 19-7 season a year ago. Coachman left it short, tapped around, it pinballs into the hands of the shooter. Coachman taps it to a teammate in Rivers, long pass to Sean Jones, almost lost his footing. They'll reset near the timeline, nearly 2 minutes into the second quarter. Rivers, same spot, different result. Coachman trying to tip it to a teammate. Hauled in by Randy Pate III. And out in space, palming violation goes against Joseph Simmons II. Joshua Stein comes on in favor of Coachman for the Knights. Simmons II will dap up his dad and take a seat himself. Justin Jackson, the freshman, now on for the Saints.
You know, Sean, one of the dilemmas in playing a zone defense, you have no box out accountability. So the shot goes up and you're trying to box out in your area, but you have the perimeter players crashing from the perimeter. It's hard to box out in those situations.
After the miss by Oakleaf, we'll take a timeout. Strong start again to the quarter for the Knights, leading 21-8 in our 3rd place game of the Fortegra Invitational.
FSCJ is here for my next chapter.
For my world debut.
My independence.
My inspiration.
My American dream.
For my second chance.
Whether it is your first year in college or you are looking to start a new career, FSCJ is here for you.
A world of ideas comes to life through Gemstone Media. We blend picture and sound, persuasion and emotion, purpose and passion to brand your company and increase sales. We broadcast sports and train military and industrial personnel. Let us demonstrate the power of effective communication. On the air, online, on demand, on time, on budget, on point. Let Gemstone Media get your ideas turned on.
What makes us unique is just service. We control as many variables as we can. We do all of our own decorating. We do trophies, we do banners, and now we create our own uniforms in this building with this new sublimation process that we have. Just the last 21 years just have been incredible at how the business has evolved.
My name is Roland Bell. I've been with Bono since 1990, and I'm a pit boss. I started out as a dishwasher, and then I went from dishwasher to a prep. And after that, I wanted to learn how to cut. And here I am now, been cutting since 1990.
There's something special about cooking out in the backyard. Beautiful out here today. There's nothing like cooking home with your family and sharing food with the people that I love. Barbecue is all about bringing people together.
Because everybody loves barbecue.
FSCJ is here for my first step.
My passion and creativity.
My next chapter.
My start in education. For my dreams.
Whether it is your first year in college or you are looking to start a new career, FSCJ is here for you.
Here in Game 11 of the 5th Annual Fortegra Invitational. This is how the bracket has panned out so far. See Providence and Easton, our championship earlier this afternoon. Camden County and Orange Park took 7th and 5th place. But we have to echo the same thing we've heard from a lot of coaches. This is 3 games in 3 days. You're going to learn a lot about your team, and it's just going to prepare you that much better for districts in February.
And it also gives you a chance to find out the identity of your bottom 6, 7 players that you usually probably wouldn't play if you were playing one game, in 4 days. So it makes coaches dig a little bit deeper into their bench, give guys an opportunity to prove what they can do and earn some trust.
Good job by Sandalwood out of the timeout, starting to attack the rim. Already 3 baskets in the first 3 minutes of the second quarter. Pass deflected, still stays with Oakleaf. Good pass to the corner. That 3 attempts short by Lewis. And before they could leak out, a travel called on the Saints. This is something Coach Price takes pride in. If you think, oh, Sandalwood's kind of turning it over, it's that defense just so stout and stifling that it can make you overthink some of the easy plays. I know Coach Simmons probably wants to lace them up himself and show the kids how it's done as a great point guard formerly at Ribault. His team trying to just control the boards first. And off another Oakleaf board, they at least force a tie-up to give possession back.
And this Oakleaf team, they do a great job. Travis Knox, he did a great job last night against Providence, and he's continued today. He's treating every shot as if it's a pass to him off the glass.
Rivers with a pesky defense in the backcourt, earns a trip to the line, drawing the foul on Sandalwood's Alexis James. Now, Coach Price says, I would describe my guard as electric and quick. And we saw it there with the basketball and defending in the full court.
It's a pleasure to see kids take pride in guarding the ball 94 feet. It's a pride thing. It's a toughness. He did a great job there of getting a steal without fouling. Now he's at the free throw line making his free throws.
Gets the pair to fall, and now it allows the Knights to set up their full court defense. Sandalwood, a team that has 3 losses on the year, but all to very good competition. The #1 team in the area, Providence, according to the News4Jax Super 6 by Justin Barney. The #3 team in Andrew Jackson, and then the #6 team this week in Nice. They're being tested by Oakleaf, currently not in that top 6. Might be getting the bump after an impressive Fortegra Invitational, as they can't score there. That transition defense so strong for the Knights. They'll still drive anyways. Pate the third is blocked. Now Dallas Skinner, one of 7 seniors for Oakleaf. They quickly get it up the floor. Tough mid-range jumper. Won't get the bounce for Mekhi Martin. Jackson, the freshman, does a nice job bringing it across midcourt. Now with the senior Love going one-on-one. Pate directing traffic. Just nowhere to go at the moment. Now Kennedy looking to slip it to a teammate. Turns it over. Rivers surveys, whips it across. Martin on the drive, gets the defense in the air. Wave it off. Foul before the shot. Sandalwood trying to chip away from this 13-point deficit, looking stronger in the second quarter. We'll see if they can go on a run in the final 3:21 when we return to FSCJ. Find out who you really are when Cotton Eye Joe comes on, don't you, Toby?
I just want to know what the name of that dance is.
We find out, are you a dancer or are you an embarrassed family member? Either way, 23-10, Oakleaf on top of Sandalwood in our third place game. You know, both these coaches mentioned, hey, this is going to be a fun environment, but these games especially, how do you deal with the camera in your face when you're shooting free throws? How do you deal with some of these longer timeouts? You're just used to, okay, we do starting lineups, we're rolling the ball out, we're playing, and we're done in less than 90 minutes. It's kind of a marathon, too, where you have to be a little bit more deliberate and focused in between these 3-4 minute stretches, right?
You know, when my team played in the Fortegra tournament, you know, I told my players that it's an opportunity for you guys that have aspirations of playing college basketball. This is your taste of that environment. Media timeouts, cameras everywhere. You know, you have the commentators commentating the game. You know, it's live stream, so this is what you want to prepare yourself for. You just have to stay strong with your principles, play good team basketball, and more importantly, your loved ones want to see you win.
Tough shot missed by Tavion Dunbar. A little floater for Oakleaf. Won't go for Travis Knox. Bodies hit the floor. Rivers tosses it up. Landed on his teammate Knox. Oakleaf comes up empty. Sandalwood playing with pace. Blocked from behind. That was the 6'6" Joshua Stein getting up. Timed it well, too. Now Dallas Skinner. Seasoned senior. This Oakleaf team that lost its #1 scorer in David Compierre. Also #1 rebounder in Keyshawn Riley. This is a very deep, very versatile roster for Coach Price. Now Love with the Euro step, lost the ball. Bill kicks out to a teammate. Good looking three off the back of the iron. Long rebound to Love. One-on-one, drops it off. Kennedy in a crowd, somehow muscles that in.
It's a nice finish by Kennedy there. Good drop-off by Sajari Love. Sandalwood team is continuing to compete. Coach Simmons has stuck with his own defense through the good and the bad. If they can continue to get rebounds and limit Oakleaf to one shot, they'll be in much better shape playing this zone.
Rivers, good find. Better recovery defensively. And the defense, hands in the air, force the turnover. Sandalwood starting to lock down the paint. Rebounding a little bit better than that first quarter, but they're also staying in front too.
You know, and they're doing a much better job of closing out to the shooters. You know, early on when they decided to go zone, Oakleaf hit 2 quick three-pointers, but Coach Simmons, to his credit, has stuck with the zone.
Good kick out, good look. Make not there for the Saints. Need a couple of those to drop. Turnaround for Stein off the heel. Tate the third. Going to use his height to his advantage with 71 seconds left in this first half. Love gets the inbound. Saints playing better in this second quarter. Like a single-digit deficit. Another three-pointer just short. That was from Caden Torre.
You know, if I'm Coach Price here, I hold for one. I don't think we can get a second possession out of this half.
There was a sliver of space, and Travis Knox said, "Excuse me, I scored double figures Thursday and Friday." He's had a very strong tournament off the bench.
You know, he was instrumental yesterday. He did a great job on the offensive glass. He's very active, good defensively at the basket as well as on the perimeter. And he's a big part of the success that this Oakleaf team has on defense.
Love with 5. Simmons the second, tosses it up. Won't go. Rivers with a heave. A valiant effort. But won't go down. 25-12, our score at halftime. Oakleaf didn't know how they would respond entering this game. Well, 16-4 first quarter helps them maintain a healthy lead heading into the break. Led by a whole cast of characters. The Knights lead it by 13. Let's get ready to toss it over to Kaylee Whitehead, standing by with Coach Price.
What did you think of your team's performance in the first half?
Oh, we got off to a really good start. They threw a little bit of zone at us, and we didn't handle it as well last night, the zone, but I thought we handled it beautifully, moving the ball very well. Second unit came in and pushed the lead a little bit. Really happy with our defensive intensity. Got to get back in the groove again in the second half here. Long time out here, and get the kids used to it. I'm used to it, but the kids got to get used to the media timeouts and the 15-minute halftime. But should keep us rested and ready to play it hard.
Exactly, Coach. What kind of adjustments are you looking to make in the second half?
Well, I think on a couple of pick and rolls, we got a chance. It's nice to have extra time at the media timeouts to talk about it. I think we already made some of those adjustments early, where we're getting up over top of the screen and a little pick and roll action, keeping them out of getting downhill. On the offensive end, just moving the ball, being patient, going but not going so fast, but being really controlled of what we're doing.
Awesome, Coach. Well, best of luck to you in the rest of the game. Back to you.
All right, Kaylee, we're 16 minutes into our third place game. Sean Jones and Oakleaf started strong. Aaron Rivers came off the bench and helped pad that lead. But Jalen Kennedy and the Sandalwood Saints not going away. It's 25-12 at the break. We'll step aside and come back with our halftime report at the 5th annual Fortegra Invitational.
A roof that was built 21 years ago. We'd had a few leaking issues and just wanted to be prepared before hurricane season. We have a company where we do electrical contracting. Knowing what it takes to go to a construction project, I was very impressed with the orchestration of this entire project with Covenant. They, I would say, under-promised and over-delivered, so I would highly recommend them.
We're CSI companies. We partner with organizations nationwide to help employers like you find your dream team. You're looking to hire the best of the best, and we've got you covered, start to finish. Whether you're hiring for projects or everyday operations, we provide the talent, strategic solutions, and innovative technologies that keep your business ahead of the competition. This is your workforce reimagined. This is CSI Companies.
Duval is a big place, so you need to get a lot of mileage out of what you drive. At Duval Motor Company, we put service first. With complimentary service loaner vehicles and multiple locations to serve you, our service teams take care of you by providing repair services for every make and model. Ford, Honda, Acura, Subaru, Chevrolet, and everything in between. We've got Duval covered when it comes to service. Any make, any model, any location. DuvalMotorCompany.com.
We build ideas for clients. They typically have an idea or a concept of what kind of project they're going to build. And I think as long as we're involved at the very beginning and we bring realistic budgets and realistic processes that they enjoy, that we can actually build it versus just talking about it. And we do it as a team.
There's 100% transparency. There's a common goal that we're all working towards.
Here at halftime in our third place game of the Fortegra Invitational presented by the CSI companies. Sean Salisbury sitting courtside as Oakleaf leads Sandalwood. Many great sponsors make this event happen. Sam Sauter from the CSI companies now joins us. I know you're not as big a basketball fan as maybe football, but what have you enjoyed about the competition so far? And obviously CSI being a part of this event since the very beginning in 2018.
I just love seeing the community get together and support the youth and academia, and it's just so cool to see CSI companies supporting this. We love the community and we love giving back, and it's just great to see everyone's spirit come out and the parents out here supporting their kids, and we love that.
Yeah, from Vero Beach,
yes.
But went to UNF, graduated from there.
Yes.
Glad to see Jacksonville kept you around after graduation.
Yes.
What did you love most, and what makes you want to be a marketing manager in this area? What are some of the pros that you've learned since your time at UNF?
So the first thing I thought when I moved here to Jacksonville was, wow, everyone is so nice. Because I came from South Florida, like Miami. It's a little bit different down there, but I still love it. But what made me stick around was the great relationships I created and the opportunity for growth in my career. There's so many great companies located here in Jacksonville and based out of Jacksonville. And I found CSI, and it is the best place to work at.
And I know you had a big promotion earlier this year. What are things CSI companies are starting to work on? And I know you talk about being involved in the community. What do you guys have your sights set on moving forward to?
We have our sights set on being the best of the best. We're always leveling up. It's set around the office. You'll see our CEO, Chris Blakis, walk around and say, let's level up. So that's kind of like our little saying in the office. So we want to become a technology workforce solutions company with staffing in the background. And we are doing that everywhere in Jacksonville and outside of Jacksonville. So we have locations in Nashville, and we have some people working in Tampa and all over. We work all over the nation. So it's really cool to see people all over coming together.
And then very quickly, how can people reach you guys?
You can reach us by going to our website, csicompanies.com.
All right, sounds good. Sam Sauter from the CSI companies joining us halftime here at our third place game. Oakleaf and Sandalwood, stats and highlights coming up next. 25-12, Oakleaf in the locker room. So Sandalwood, each one of our teams trying to come away with a second win in 3 days in this great event, the 5th annual Fortegra Invitational. Taking a look at some of the stats at the break. Well, it's actually the Sandalwood Saints out rebounding Oakleaf, but it is the Knights with a lot of O boards that have helped them build this lead.
You know, Coach Simmons elected to go to a 1-2-2 zone in the second quarter, which I thought was a great idea. But when you do that, there's no box-out accountability when you play a zone defense, and it opened up the gate for this Oakleaf team, who has a much bigger lineup than Sandalwood does, and allowed them to get several offensive rebounds, which gave them extra possessions. And, you know, that is the dilemma that you put yourself in when you go zone defense.
The first half stats brought to you by your local college, Florida State College at Jacksonville. Meanwhile, we take a look at the halftime highlights from a live credit union. Look, it was Oakleaf dominating, getting out in transition, forcing turnovers, but we saw Sandalwood really settle down, start to be more efficient in that second quarter. What did you like from each side?
They did settle in, Sandalwood, I speak of. They settled in. They were able to get some stops. You know, Jalen Kennedy did a good job of attacking the rim. Sajari Love, you know, has controlled the tempo. But Oakleaf on defense, they're limp on the perimeter. And with Cameron Coachman at the basket, has the ability to change shots. It's going to be a tough task for Sandalwood in the second half.
We saw Love get out in space, so did Kennedy. Can they propel the Saints on a second half run? We'll find out when we come back to FSCJ for the start of the third quarter between Oakleaf and Sandalwood.
At the Y, we take great pride in strengthening our community and helping all of us be our best selves. Our programs empower young people, improve health and well-being, and inspire action in our communities, today and every day. No matter where you are in your journey, we are here for you. We are here for all. Stop by or visit us at fcymca.org to discover new ways to connect with your potential, your purpose, and each other. Join us. Together, we are stronger for our community.
Memorable moments come in different shapes and sizes. Airstream Ventures partners with communities and events to create unique moments that connect partners on a deeper level. Services provided are sales and sponsorship, event marketing, client hospitality, and sports tourism. Our focus, changing lives, increasing business, and leaving a legacy. Airstream Ventures, business, sports, tourism. To find out more, visit airstreamventures.com.
You take some pretty big steps in life. And sometimes those steps can be expensive. Which is why your credit union is always here to help you save. With zero checking fees and thousands of surcharge-free ATMs, the savings that happen every day really add up. Find out what over 100 million credit union members already know and visit your credit union today.
What makes us unique is just service. We control as many variables as we can. We do all of our own decorating, we do trophies, we do banners, and now we create our own uniforms in this building with this new sublimation process that we have. Just the last 21 years just have been incredible at how the business has evolved.
A few minutes away from the start of the third quarter of our third place game for the Fortegra Invitational. Let's bring you back courtside. Sean Salisbury, one of the great point guards out of the area, Toby Frazier. You know, like Coach Price mentioned, it's a little bit of a different circumstance playing your third game in 3 days, dealing with a lot of the media coverage. With this long layoff, what would you tell your team in this scenario?
You know, you got to stick to what we do well. Don't try to manufacture anything. Sometimes the glitz and the glamour gets your kids off focus, want to do stuff uncharacteristically. No, grandma's probably watching on live stream, make us take a shot we don't usually take. So you just want guys to stay in character, focus on us, and just stay within yourself.
Meanwhile, for Sandalwood, after 4 points in the first quarter, we saw them start to drive using that speed. to get to the basket, finally getting some higher percentage shots to go down. Can you expect much of the same in the third quarter after this 15-minute halftime, or what should the approach be for the Saints to try to work their way back?
You want your shot selection to complement your defense. They did a great job in the second quarter going to the zone, much better job of rebounding in the zone late, but the shot selection has been too random for my taste. They have to rein that in. Coach Simmons has to keep them reined in, take good shots, keep attacking the basket as Jalen Kennedy did. Sajari Love did a great job. They have to stay with that.
Playing with purpose, huh? Those are the notes from Coach Frazier heading into the second half. We'll see if those two seniors can lead the Saints on a run. Third quarter coming up next at Florida State College at Jacksonville. Both teams back out on the floor, heading to their respective benches. Start of the third quarter in game 11 of 12 in this incredible three-day event. For the fifth straight year, Fortegra sponsoring this great tournament, bringing the best of the best in Jacksonville center stage. Coach Simmons bringing his Sandalwood team together, a much better effort in the second quarter. Again, talking about what you were saying, it's have that offense to set up your defense in mind. We saw Oakleaf, get a lot of offensive rebounds, but they really built this lead because they were getting out in space with forced turnovers or off rebounds.
You know, and that's always tough to play against when you have a team that, like Oakleaf, their incentive of playing great defense is they are so well in transition. And their defense complements their personnel. Sandalwood has to try to find a way to not turn the ball over in the half court, continue to get the ball in the paint, let the jump shots come off paint touches and penetration versus, you know, putting our head down and trying to manufacture some offense on your own.
Dylan Lewis to inbound for Oakleaf. They'll swing it over to Jones, lob it into Coachman. Good anticipation by Torre. Love nearly left his feet, kept that left foot on the ground to avoid the travel. Now we're hearing the instructions from Coach Simmons, one of the area's great point guards, two-time state finalist at Ribault. Final time I say that, I promise. Coach Frazier, Coach Simmons go way back. Strong drive, better defense from Coachman. Good job by the 6'7" senior to avoid fouling and just make that shot a little tougher.
You know, he's not there when kids are doing their individual drills and their workouts. It's a big adjustment to play against a kid like Coachman with that athleticism and that height.
In and out heartbreaker for Coachman. He'll get it right back for another open tray. Nearly banked it in. Now a third try for the Knights. Jones can't flip it in. How about a fourth? Finally, it goes down for Coachman. We have a timeout from Coach Simmons and Sandalwood. Oakleaf scores the first basket out of the break. Lead up to 15. We step aside here in the third quarter.
My name is Roland Bell. I've been with Bono since 1990 and I'm pit boss. I started out as a dishwasher and then I went from dishwasher to a prep. And after that, I wanted to learn how to cut. And here I am now, been cutting since 1990.
There's something special about cooking out in the backyard. Beautiful out here today. There's nothing like cooking home with your family and sharing food with the people that I love. Barbecue is all about bringing people together.
Because everybody loves barbecue.
A roof that was built 21 years ago. We'd had a few leaking issues and just wanted to be prepared before hurricane season. We have a company where we do electrical contracting. Knowing what it takes to go to a construction project, I was very impressed with the orchestration of this entire project with Covenant. They, I would say, under-promised and over-delivered, so I would highly recommend them.
At Duval Motor Company, we've been serving the Jacksonville area for over 100 years. That's over a century of putting service first with the Duval difference. Whether you're buying a new vehicle or servicing the one you have, the Duval difference means you can buy from home or in person and get our best price up front with a money-back guarantee. You can service your vehicle at the dealership or at home with our mobile service truck, and we'll care for it like it was our own. Experience the Duval difference at one of our 5 local dealerships today.
Coach Simmons really getting into his team in this last time out. What did you notice?
You know, that last possession on defense, they gave up 4 offensive rebounds, which eventually turned into a basket. And Coach Simmons decided to call a timeout, and he subbed all 5 players on the floor, and rightfully so. When you see a coach do that, there's mixed feelings about it, but you have to send a message to your players that you have a standard, and there's certain things that you're not going to stand for. And giving up 4 offensive rebounds on 1 possession, that's just heart. There's no talent involved in that. That's just effort, attitude, and heart. And it sends a message to his group that there's a standard here at Sandalwood, and if you're not going to live up to it, you're not going to play.
What do you remember from his playing days? I know you two go way back.
You know, he could really shoot it. He was a high IQ player, but he had a silky smooth jump shot, and I always remember him smiling on the court. He always played with a lot of joy. Fun to be around, just a good overall guy.
Bad pass helps Oakleaf go the other way. Couple of chances around the rim. This time it finally goes down. That was Michael Compierre. Off the nice steal from Kirsch, and Compierre getting after it in the backcourt, whistled for the foul. We see Sandalwood trailing by 17, a couple of minutes into the third quarter here. It's important to note, too, Sandalwood won their district tournament last year over the #1 seed Creekside. Finished 19-7, but they graduated their top 3 points per game and rebounds per game. That's not production you just replace when you have a core group, not just that, 3 other of their main rotation graduating. And now a travel inside by Alexis James How do you play that? Because we've seen a lot of sophomores and a couple of freshmen come on for the Saints today. This is a big learning experience, pretty much a month into their varsity careers.
You know, when you're coaching and you have players that are leading away, while they're there, those players that are on JV or those guys that may not play that much, you know, they wish that they had the opportunity. And then when those guys leave, now it's your turn. You know, can you step up and fill that void? And you don't necessarily have to fill it the way that guy did, but you have to provide some production. Now it's your time. Now it's your time to shine. What are you going to bring to the table?
Lots of like there. Getting the arms out wide. The steal for Aurelio Lanier. Oh, floater off the top of the backboard. Rebound secured by Dylan Lewis. Now Kirsch on the run. This time we'll finish in front. Quick trap in the backcourt. Another steal. Kirsch, an absolute menace defensively, and gives us a little flex. Lewis a steal. Layup not there. And a foul going the other way. Compierre cannot believe his luck. Just missed the bunny. We're seeing Oakleaf really ramp it up, despite the margin.
And this is what you want to see, Coach Price. You know, he's trying to send a message to his team as well that they need to finish the mission.
Compierre makes amends for his missed layup. Gets the steal, finds Lewis. 2 more points. Now Coachman soars in for the rejection. Great bounce pass by Jones, finding Lewis. Size advantage, counted, and the foul. Oakleaf starting to play bully ball in this second half.
Their intensity level has gone up a notch. And this is a situation where you don't want to play the scoreboard. You're telling your guys, we're not going to look at the scoreboard. We're going to continue to do the things that we need to do, that we need to improve on, and you keep your energy and your intensity level high. We can't control what the other team is going to do.
Coach Price says our motto is do your job. People like to tell us we're very versatile. 10 guys on our roster can guard 1 through 5. We're comfortable with that. He said it just comes down to that. No matter what your position, we're going to ask you to contest shots, take charges, dive after loose balls. If you want to play here, be a part of this program, it's going to require that hustle and effort.
And when you play defense the way they play it, it's easy to tell who's not playing hard.
Now up 25. Biggest margin of the game for Oakleaf. Thanks to some forced turnovers in the backcourt. Look how Coachman can even protect the rim, but get out and defend the perimeter. Little step through a wild shot tossed up by Lanier. Lewis taking himself, and an intentional foul is called on Sandalwood. That'll go to the freshman, Justin Jackson. Hang on for a moment and hear a little more. Jackson can't believe his luck. He's trying to argue with our officials. He was going for the basketball. The bang-bang play sends us to a timeout. The Knights, fast and furious in the first half, also in the second half. Great job to extend this lead in the third. back at the Florida State College at Jacksonville. Our third of 4 games today. Championship between Nice and Providence coming up at 7 o'clock. Still in our third place game in the third quarter. Oakleaf having some fun, and an intentional foul on Dylan Lewis, or for Dylan Lewis to shoot a couple of free throws. Joseph Simmons hoping to get a spark from his team midway through this third quarter. The always uncomfortable one-man band just hanging out there by yourself at the free throw line.
I'm trying to ask you a question, Sean. So I want to ask you a question. Did you know that in high school, on a technical foul, that you can split the shooter? So on a technical foul, if you send your shooter to the line, whether he makes or she makes the first first shot, you can choose a second shooter for the second shot.
That's a coach that knows his rule book, huh? Good pass inside. It's Kirsch with a finish off the pass from Skinner. Doesn't matter who's in for Oakleaf. They are rolling. And now force a turnover. Stepping out of bounds, James put his toe on the end line. A frustrating start to the second half for the Saints. Rivers all alone. Good box out by Lanier. And then the Saints throw it away, trying to go up court in a hurry. Lewis blows by the defense. Too strong off glass. He'll head to the line to shoot 2 more. Dylan Lewis grew up in Germany. First moved to the U.S. for high school. Like Toby said off the top, speaks German and Latin. Has a different style, a very stereotypical European guard, right? Just so good in the pick and roll, crafty in how he can change speeds like we just saw there. And Coach Price opening up to us about his leader, saying he just plays with such infectious joy and is our unquestioned leader. You know, we will go as far as he takes us. And some of our guys recognize that. We know that we're a very deep group, but every group needs a leader, and you usually look to your point guard to fill that void.
And it's always good when your leader is one of your better players, but more importantly, when your leader is one of your hardest workers, because other guys will listen to the guy that works just as hard. You can't be hypocritical. And Dylan Lewis has a great work ethic, and it shows here today as he's leading these Oakleaf Knights against Sandalwood.
Infectious joy. Infectious unselfishness, too. Kirsch finds Knox for the open layup. Stretching this lead to 29. That has to impress you, right? Watching Oakleaf on a back-to-back, the heartbreaking loss in overtime last night to Providence, and then just dominating today. But it's also just the bench production they get. When Lewis takes a seat, there's no drop-off.
And you know what it tells me? They're well-conditioned. This starts in conditioning. This starts on the track, in the weight room. They are prepared to play this style, and there's no drop-off. Like you said, Sean, there's no drop-off from substitution to substitution. And the luxury, you know, the Maybach Benz, I would say, in Cameron Coachman that they have to just clean up all the mistakes that they make on the perimeter at the basket is such a luxury to have.
Rivers, quick hands, comes up with the steal. Look at this man fly as he draws the foul in transition. Tavion Dunbar going for the block. Good effort on each side. Boy, it's always a dangerous collision, but a good effort to get back in transition for Sandalwood.
You know, I've been impressed with Aaron Rivers. He's been an absolute menace guarding the ball today. He sits down in the stands. You know, he slides his feet very well. Great guarding distance. You know, it's tough guarding, trying to handle the ball and initiate offense against a kid like that guards the ball so well.
The junior misses both free throws. How many times have we said this today? Oakleaf gets its own miss and puts it back in around the rim. Patience doesn't pay off there for Mekhi Martin, but another tap in. Off of Skinner's make another turnover in the backcourt. They feed him again. This time it's Knox. Oakleaf blowing this game open. And they get a charge call immediately after the inbound. Mekhi Martin draws the personal on Love. Still playing here, coming up on the final minute of the third quarter. Over the back foul on Oakleaf. We'll give Sandalwood the basketball when we return. 47-12 our score. They'll step aside with Oakleaf cruising in the third place game.
FSCJ is here
for my start and finish.
My next chapter.
My start in education.
For my future.
For my second chance.
Whether it is your first year in college or you are looking to start a new career, FSCJ is here for you.
We build ideas for clients. They typically have an idea or a concept of what kind of project they're going to build. And I think as long as we're involved at the very beginning and we bring realistic budgets and realistic processes that they enjoy, that we can actually build it versus just talking about it. And we do it as a team.
There's 100% transparency. There's a common goal that we're all working towards.
At the Y, we take great pride in strengthening our community and helping all of us be our best selves. Our programs empower young people, improve health and well-being, and inspire action in our communities, today and every day. No matter where you are in your journey, we are here for you. We are here for all. Stop by or visit us at fcymca.org to discover new ways to connect with your potential, your purpose, and each other. Join us. Together, we are stronger for our community. A world of ideas comes to life through Gemstone Media. We blend picture and sound, persuasion and emotion, purpose and passion to brand your company and increase sales. We broadcast sports and train military and industrial personnel. Let us demonstrate the power of effective communication. On the air, online, on demand, on time, on budget, on point. Let Gemstone Media get your ideas turned on.
FSCJ is here for my future.
My inspiration.
My next chapter.
My American dream.
My passion and creativity.
For my first step.
Whether it is your first year in college or you are looking to start a new career, FSCJ is here for you.
Well, Oakleaf has checked just about every box a coach would want in the first month of the season. They hadn't really been tested up until yesterday's loss to Providence. And Coach Price said, good. So these games in December drive home the points of emphasis for an entire season, getting ready for the playoffs. And he even said before today's game, look, we've been in that position before. I think we'll be better for it. But we don't sit around saying, yeah, there's moral victories. I said to my team right after the loss, it was not a Pyrrhic win. So they had to teach the kids Greek. They had not learned that in class just yet. They said, we will see how we come out. But based on our preparation, I trust my guys. They know what's expected of them, and we're seeing them rolling here in the second half.
And it's good to see the consistency that actually, in my opinion, their defensive intensity is higher, than it was last night against Providence. And that's always a good sign. It's telling you that your kids can handle adversity. They have a quick turnaround. They're not hanging their head. They're looking forward to the next challenge.
Tie up inside of the final 30 seconds of the quarter. Sandalwood might have to push a little bit now with the clock running at the 35-point margin. Good drive. Oakleaf just fell asleep. And Antonio Hodges takes advantage. Skinner gets it off in time. On the second try, no. Good look for Travis Knox, too. But make no mistake, it's all Oakleaf heading to the fourth quarter in our third place game of the 5th annual Fortegra Invitational. which is brought to you by Fortegra. Let's reach new heights together. The CSI Companies, your workforce solutions reinvented. Bono's Pit Barbecue, Land South Construction, and by Duval Motor Company, proudly serving Northeast Florida since 1916. Fourth quarter coming up next between Sandalwood and Oakleaf. Start of the fourth quarter in our third place game, and now time for our difference maker. Brought to you by Covenant Roofing. With Covenant Roofing, the difference is the promise. A lot of options to choose on the Oakleaf side, but it's Devin Kirsch again working hard inside and out for the Knights.
You know, he's done a great job on the offensive glass, great in transition. He's a glue guy for Coach Price and his Oakleaf team. A guy doesn't necessarily you need to run plays for. He just gets it done on both ends, plays with great energy.
And 6'2", again, not going to be the biggest guy for a lot of front courts, but we've just seen his hustle and effort the last couple of days, and especially on the offensive glass. He's so tough to stop because he moves quickly, but again, it's just that length that can give any opponent problems.
You know, the way they play defense, it gives the Oakleaf players a chance to show their athleticism, show what they can do, get in the passing lanes, use their length. You know, and it's a great system to play in when you have these type of players.
Falling asleep a little on the inbound. Here, Dallas Skinner, a little perturbed, go, gotta move, go. It just shows you what this team is made of. They're not stopping, even up 33. Rivers misfires. Knox tracks down the rebound. There's a three ball. Right on cue, it's Kirsch again.
You're watching this game at home and you're saying, why is Oakleaf still playing pressure defense? This is an identity of this team. You can't control what the other team does. You have to continue to prepare. You have guys that usually don't play that much. You have to give them an opportunity to play defense as well to gain some trust.
Nearly a strip for the Saints. Instead, it's Oakleaf with a chance at the rim. Skinner comes up empty. Martin couldn't chase it down, now collects himself. Numbers up ahead. Rivers with a little Euro step, banked it off a Sandalwood player. Heave out of bounds for the Saints early in this fourth quarter.
So I'm a little against the grain, Sean. I have unpopular opinions, which I'm not afraid to share. But as a coach, I never taught my players the Euro step. I've always felt like it makes small players smaller, and it makes athletic players less explosive. I get a lot of flack for that comment because there are NBA guys, overseas guys who have a lot of success making that move, but for kids, I don't recommend it. And I'm not ashamed of it. I say that with my chest out, and I take any ill comments I get for it, and I keep it moving. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it about the Euro step.
Foul called inside on the Jalen Kennedy attempt. You know, that just sounds like a mid-90s guard to me. I don't know about anybody else out there. You just want to put your head down, right? You want to do the Mark Jackson, just put the defense on your hip and just back them down from half court?
I am in the half court. You know, I believe in playing off 2 feet, under control. I'm a jump stop guy in the lane. And I believe in playing under control, and I just think that the Euro step is a move that you can't come back from. Once you commit to it, you're in it. Jump stops, you can always ball fake, you can pump fake, you can pivot out and make a pass out if you get in trouble. And most small guards, they struggle with staying out of trouble, and the Euro step is a move that I've seen that gets a lot of small guards in trouble because you don't understand that Kevin Durant is 6'9", 6'11", making that move, and he can't get in trouble at that height.
This three goes down as Oakleaf has used mass subs to get the bench in the game. Jackson Cowart, after the three, gets the steal but turns it over. Maybe a little too unselfish. Caden Torre went for the dunk but hit the rim. Cowart gives it up, and there's a layup on the other end for Josiah Cooper. Now the other way, this time Torre draws the foul. Clock runs as we are already near the midway point of the fourth quarter.
At the line for the Saints is number 3, Caden Torre, shooting 2.
The Sandalwood team led by Coach Simmons in his second year. Replaced David Cusack, who spent 24 years at Sandalwood as the head man. A lot to replace. Obviously, he had a good team last year, but we're replacing a lot of seniors, especially 3 big-time producers, not only as your scorers, but rebounders, too. You might have some growing pains in the first few weeks. And look, they've really tested themselves with a tough schedule, too. We shouldn't forget about that part.
You know, overcoming attrition is hard for high school coaches because it takes so long to get kids to buy into what you're trying to do. And then if you have a mass exodus with seniors, especially guys that are your top producers, it's hard to get those JV guys, you know, acclimated, or football guys coming in, or transfers, you know, to what you're trying to do in a timely manner.
On the drive, defense stands tall. Well, the Knights throw it away. Rare chance out in space for the Saints. Tavion Dunbar, the #1 returning scorer from last year's team at 6 points per game. Will finish on the run, and now we have an official's whistle.
I think we have a delay of game warning on Sandalwood. I think someone touched the ball after the layup.
Long lob out past midcourt. Finds Copper. This is the off-balance attempt in the lane. 3 minutes to play. We look forward to our Providence-Nice matchup at 7 o'clock. 2 teams in the Super 6 by Justin Barney this week. Expect to be a great matchup and 2 very different styles, Toby, coming up in the championship game.
2 extremely different styles. You know, Coach Josh Balin from Nice, he is content with making as many passes as necessary. We can't even put a number on it. You know, sometimes it's 15. I think sometimes last night we saw maybe up to 30 passes made in one possession, but that's the way he's, you know, chosen to run his program, and he's been successful, has not lost a game yet.
In front, good foul. Joseph Simmons the second, a 5'9" freshman, still playing tough out there. A lot of underclassmen. That's what you know for Sandalwood. You know, nobody likes taking big losses against some of the best teams in your area, but it's going to make you better, right? And once you face the best, okay, the rest, not so bad.
You know, it has to hurt. You know, once it hurts, you don't want to feel that again, and not wanting to feel that again, it makes you prepare a certain way. It makes you work harder in the weight room. makes you work harder in practice, listen to your coaches more, you know, but it has to hurt. If you walk away from this and you know, it's a quick turnaround, it doesn't bother you, you know, an hour later you're on the phone or you're playing a video game, you know, you're going to subject yourself to experiencing another loss like this again.
Oakleaf turns it over there, but right, if you're Coach Simmons in your second year, you're going to learn a lot about your roster and who wants to turn it around, who has that dog mentality, right? For a Reebok grad, he's going to know it when he sees it.
You know, and adversity brings out the worst sometimes in coaches and players, and you see, you know, really who you are. You know, there's an old saying, adversity shows a man to himself. You find out who you are when things are not going well. It's easy, you know, it's easy to sail a boat when the weather's nice. But you can really determine how good a sailor is when the wind is blowing. And it's the same thing with coaching and playing basketball. You find out a lot about who you are when things are not going well.
Words of wisdom from Coach Frazier. I love it.
Showing my age, man.
No, you're just a seasoned vet, right? That's how we clean it up on the TV side of things.
I like when they say season, I like to say Zataran or Old Bay. Got to be some spice.
We certainly saw some flair on Oakleaf. Not only just getting the high percentage looks, but finding ways to get it done defensively. Letting that pave the way for a lot of good looks and high percentage shots. Final seconds coming off the clock here. We'll still get one more attempt in for Josiah Copper. Now miscommunication. Sandalwood thinks the game's over. Just the final score in doubt for now. After the way Copper misses the second. After a 16-4 first quarter, Oakleaf powers its way past Sandalwood en route to a 57-22 win and taking home third place in the 5th annual Fortegra Invitational. Well, for Oakleaf, they learned a lot of things about themselves today. Today and over the last 3 days, I should say. They didn't know what to expect. They wanted to be tested. They weren't tested last night. Then it turned to, okay, this morning, how quick can we bounce back? What is our effort, attitude, intensity? All those little things, the intangibles, right, Toby? That comes down to winning games in tight spots. And look, in district tournament, state tournament, you're going to have to find a way to not replicate results, right? You need to find that effort that can lead you to wins late in February.
And I think their success is predicated, which is good. Their success is predicated on their effort and their attitude. The bench is live their entire game. They play with active hands. They rotate well on defense. Coachman does a great job at the basket. And when you're founded on those principles, you know, it's not offense for them. It's not shooting. Shooting goes and comes, but they hang their hat on defense. And when you do that, you're going to have a chance to have a long season, which could possibly end up in Lakeland for this Oakleaf team.
They'll take home third place. Great effort across all 3 games. Took down Reigns 54-12. And then yesterday, lost a heartbreaker in overtime to Providence 58-53. And Coach Price got to get in the picture for our third place team, the Oakleaf Knights. 13-12 a year ago, but Team 13, in the words of Coach Price, has its sights set on its first ever state playoff win and so much more. Coach Price, after his team's latest big win to start the campaign, now joins us. What pleases you the most? You know, we talked about it before the game. You don't know how a team's going to respond less than 24 hours after a very emotional game against the unanimous #1 team in the area. What'd you learn about them today?
I learned that we are able to have our best game when our best game is called for. We talked about that earlier as well. I thought we did a terrific job last night of just energy, and we learned a lot too. I think it was great for both teams. Had a great experience early in the season. You know, a December type of game, but an atmosphere like this, an opportunity like this is great for these guys moving forward. And then to come back out tonight, different setup, you know, media timeouts. You know, you and I are used to this kind of stuff, but the young kids are still learning that process. I thought they handled it beautifully. I thought we had some beautiful runs. We had different groupings that came in and really kind of pushed the tempo. The best thing we have is our team has got depth, and they really support each other, and they pick up right where the last guy left off, which is great to watch.
What's it like having that luxury of depth where you're throwing in 3, 4, 5 different bench guys, and there's just no drop-off when your leaders leave the floor?
The pride factor is that these guys started off as freshmen with us. We have a junior high that comes to our high school. We're a closed school. We don't have anybody on this team that hasn't been there since day one. Conditioning, freshman, JV, all the way up to varsity, those guys have paid the dues together. They've worked in the off-season together. It's what I grew up with in a consolidated school district in Michigan, you know, from being from the Midwest. It's beautiful to watch those guys develop and grow. The standard that was set by guys before them, because they get to see them for multiple years. They get to grow in the system, and they get to understand you get to develop guys over that time period. You're not picking and popping guys into positions. Those guys are earning and learning as they're going all the way up.
And then for Team 13, what's next for them? What do you want to see out of them to continue this strong play into January and hopefully a playoff run in February?
Well, the first thing is we have 2 true road games next week. All right, we've been in this, which is a neutral court setting. We've had some opportunities to play a bunch of home games early, which I guess good scheduling on my part. But we're trying to now go out and go. We had a tough matchup with a Clay County opponent in Clay High School, and then we got to turn around and play a district opponent in the First Coast on the road. So you know how true road games are, playing in that type of environment. I'm excited to see us take this defense on the road, the intensity level of being in this kind of environment and putting it into that kind of an away game situation is going to be great for us as we move forward.
Can't see what you do. 3rd place in the 5th annual Fortegra Invitational. Coach Price, thanks for stopping by.
Can I holler out somebody real quick?
Go for it.
I want to say hi to my wife, Chrissy, with my new twins, Eliana and Nyana. They were born in June, and then my son, Ezra, who I know is freaking out at home watching on TV. It's awesome. Thank you for all the support. My parents were here and everything, and appreciate you guys, Mr. Verlander, CSI companies, and everybody doing a terrific job here, just putting on an amazing event for everybody, especially for boys basketball in this area. It's outstanding.
In case you didn't hear him earlier, he's from the Midwest. Just being polite.
Go Michigan.
Coach Price, thank you again after his team's big win over the Sandalwood Saints. Oakleaf off to a tremendous start now, 6-1 on the year. Sandalwood drops to 4-4. We still have much more action coming your way. Providence and Nice in our championship game coming up at 7 o'clock. You won't want to miss any of it between 2 of the best in Jacksonville. But for now, it's Devin Kirsch and Oakleaf rolling over Sandalwood in a 57-22 win. For Toby Frazier and the rest of our crew, this is Sean Salisbury signing off from the Florida State College at Jacksonville.